Damn,
Are you done?
you were doing it. I was just encouraging.
I wasn't doing anything. You mean this? Um, I welcome to
That's his
another
warm up for the podcast.
welcome to another episode of Nightmare Road. I of course am one of your hosts, Decon, here with the very giggly.
Ashley Oracle, why do you sound like you're reading an audiobook?
So there once was a man named Philemon, and he lived in the outskirts of the town. And on a rainy day, he went out there. Anyway, so
That was
today's episode
creepy
is
as
brought
fuck.
to you by what?
That was creepy.
But no, it's a dark and mysterious novel. Um,
Sounded like the start of a horror novel.
and then there was the man. You remember when they used to have movie previews, and that one guy used to come up and he was like, "This summer, one man, one desire."
That's when movies were at their prime.
Yeah, you had Danny DeVito is the Avenger we all need.
He's
He's like,
such a badass.
get me the shield.
Hell
The
yeah.
villains have no chance this summer. Danny DeVito is Captain Half America. This film not yet rated. Now I don't think they do that kind of shit anymore. Anyway, so this episode
Oh
is
wow.
brought to you by Loot by Lottie. So you guys type in the promo code. What do you
Sorry.
have there?
So my son is a little bit scared of R.I.P. Rowdy, and so I have to cover him up so he doesn't cry.
Just tell them, be like, you see, my son, this is the day that the men will be separated from the boys. Now, which one
I
are
need a
you?
picture of the new guy, Hamilton.
Which one are you? Um, so I type in the promo code Nightmare to get 30% off. 30?
Yeah.
15.
No, you texted me 30,
30% off any order
right?
above $40.
What did what did you text me?
I don't even know anymore. But yeah, there's a
So
discount.
unprepared. I'm sorry. Um, hold on. I'm trying to find it.
See, this is why. Anyway, and also by Groceries and Ghost, Sean Burris. Sean Burris, of course. You know,
Oh wait.
his old tagline used to be, "Can't take the heat, stay out of hell." Anyway, so
Can
Groceries and
you do
Ghosts,
that one more time?
huh?
Can you do that voice one more time?
He says, "Can't take the heat, stay out of hell." That's what he sounded like. I
Oh,
saw
that was
pictures of him
awesome.
online when he was doing the show. He was like my age. I was like, damn, what a handsome devil. Anyway, Groceries and Ghosts, also by on the Shadow Nation podcast. So check him out on YouTube. He's got a website now, shadownation.com. Anyway, what else? Oh, Paranormal Unveiled with Nate, or Static as I know him as. So he's got a new book, Downloading the Paranormal for All Your Erotic Needs. Paranormal Unveiled. That's not the right book. Come on, Nate.
That
What
is
kind of
not the
audio?
right book. You need to
What kind of
calm down.
audio did he send me? So if you want to download, anyway, so that's it.
Oh,
That's
poor
all
Nate.
the sponsors of the day. So today's episode, what do we
I
have?
can't find it. Sorry, I just threw my phone.
Well, we just went right through our ads, so it's okay.
Um, yeah, it's okay. We are doing Pennhurst Asylum because the owners are trying to sell it.
How can Pennhurst that place such a dark history?
So dark. I have been watching, well, rewatching, I should say, documentaries on that place, and good Lord. Like the
That
history on that place is just I yeah.
When did they open their doors? Was it 1908?
Hmm. And
And
that was like back when, you know, if you were born with any sort of disability, physical or mental, they really, society did not want anything to do with you.
yeah, so they would ship you off to this place. And back then,
Hmm.
mental institutions or asylums were there not really to. So when you look at them historically, they weren't even really there to treat you. Instead, they were there to just, take you in because no one wanted you. They wanted you out of society. And
Yes.
they would also test out new technology like on the patients. And
Hmm.
they didn't even see the patients as people. They just saw them as just things.
Well, as soon as you dropped a family member or a friend off at one of these places, they essentially became a number because the
Yeah.
more patients that they got, the more funding they received from the state. So
Yeah.
really, it's
Yeah.
just all a cost factor.
Yeah, it was just a business. That's all it was. And then they started
Hmm.
to they so they a lot of these asylums started to fall under hard times because of the economy and all kinds of shit. So instead of them saying like, you know what, let's figure out a way to keep everybody, more comfortable, instead they said, okay, we're going to start rationing food, we're going to start cheaping out, we're going to start selling things like extra bedding, all these kind of things to
Hmm.
hospitals. And also, if you have even the elderly, we'll take them in. Somebody have a
Oh yeah,
stutter, send them in. Somebody
yeah.
have a
Send them
fucked up
in.
hand, send them in.
Your wife is disobeying you. Send her ass in.
Send her in. That's what I
Send
tell
her
people. I'm like,
in.
I wish those places were still open. There's a lot of women that should get locked up. Um,
I
so
would be one of the first. I'm the most unruly person.
just get the hell out of here. Just
Just
lock her
send me
into
over.
a padded room.
I'm so down.
Oracle, get the straight jacket on.
I'm down to go jump around in a padded room. Not gonna lie. That sounds like a good time.
It kills a lot of stress,
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah, that sounds like a good time.
doesn't it? Are the floors padded too?
I don't know. I've never like seen the inside of one in real life, in all honesty. Have you?
No.
Are the floors padded?
You've you've never been in a rubber room?
I surprisingly no.
Okay. We'll go with that story.
It's a story for another time.
Um so yeah, so these places, that's what they were. And you know what's crazy is a lot of the doctors worked just weekdays, not weekends. So
Here's the most fucked up thing about Pennhurst Doctor. Do you know his name?
no.
Dr. Fear was one of the doctors that worked at Pennhurst. And he was
Doctor
one of the ones that was like testing. So if a patient was being unruly and needed disciplined, he would take them into his little room and he would test out pain injections, but not pain relieving
yeah.
injections, like causing you pain to see how much you could take.
Yeah, so
He was evil.
yeah, they started testing a lot of things out on patients, like electroshock therapy. They're like, does this work?
Mhm.
I don't know. Let's try it out. Like, is it working? I don't know. Let's just keep doing it. Um,
Everything was the therapy.
everything, yeah, was a therapy. Damn, they
Mhm.
even started to experiment with lobotomies. Like as soon as lobotomies became a thing, everybody was getting lobotomized.
Oh yeah.
Did
Well, and then at Pennhurst, I think it was originally open to only house I think up to like 1,500 people max. And I think they got over 3,000
over
people in there, and it
three
was
thousand?
one staff member to like 100 patients at a time.
I think it was 3,400 patients.
Was it
I think it
3,400?
was 3,400. So back to the whole weekend thing.
Oh,
So a lot of these doctors did not work weekends. So
no, why would they?
so you know what they did while the doctors were away? They would strap the patients down to their beds or to any makeshift thing and then just leave for the weekend. See you guys Monday. And then
There was one report that I saw where a patient was strapped to a bed for literally over 4,000 hours. It was from August to October.
they even had children in there. Isn't that
Hmm.
crazy?
Oh,
So
yeah, they had
they
babies in there.
they had the patients that were in there for years started having
They would,
babies,
yep, they
and
would
it's like,
have
how
babies.
are these people? Turns out the doctors were doing stuff to them.
And that's why they started to, oh my gosh, why am I not thinking of the word? Made it so you can't have babies. What is the freaking word?
They got them spayed and neutered.
Yes, spayed and neutered. I was thinking cremated, so I was like, that's not the word. That's when you're
That's
burned when you after you die,
yeah, like set them when they
right?
set you on fire. Pour the gasoline on them. Anyway, no, so they started doing all these things, and then they're talking about patients were doing the Frankenstein walk because they were
Mhm.
so like I don't even know how to say it. They had diaper rash as adults because they were strapped down to a bed for days and they would have to urinate and defecate,
Yep.
on themselves because they were strapped
And
on.
they were covered in it for days. But there, but you gotta remember though, one staff to over 100 people. It is literally impossible to do that. There's no way.
But also, you got to remember that they tried to. So they're saying if we only have one or two staff members to all these patients,
Hmm.
imagine how much money we're saving instead of hiring like a
Oh
full.
yeah.
It was so sick. So then a lot of it was even the nutritional needs. They started to basically, we have one can of soup, let's say one can of soup, and instead of per person, like we're gonna divide it between three, and it's like, what about fill? Like, well, just put, either sounds gonna sound it's gonna sound below that. It's gonna sound so shitty. Start
It
putting
is
things
shit.
like sawdust in there to thicken this up. It sounds a lot like the
Hmm.
Holocaust, honestly, like concentration camp.
Well, and then there were some stories that I read where a lot of the patients, I've worked with people that have disabilities, so I can kind of see it, but there's a lot of patients who cannot bring that spoon to their mouth. They don't have that motor skill. They never developed it. So they would put all of their food, no matter what it was, dessert, bread, beans, potatoes, whatever they're feeding them, all into one bowl. They had 10 minutes to eat. If you did not eat within those 10 minutes, you were going without.
Yeah, it's so sick. And then you started seeing violence between patients with each other over things like food, over things like clean clothes, and
Yep.
and then the doctors in that place just let them just leave them alone. You know,
Well, yeah, there was situations where the patients were graping each other and the staff members just let it happen and would take care of the situation after it happened and after it was done.
yeah, it's oh man, it's so
It
gross.
is, well, and I mean, if you think about it though, you're talking about the most vulnerable population.
Yeah,
These
the
are people who can be exposed so easily and taken advantage of so easily because one, some of them can't talk, so they can't voice what happened. So it's like, oh, why not? We can get away with it.
well,
And
yeah,
it's
I
the
mean
most
it.
evil, sadistic shit.
Well, it's also two things, and the thing is, number one of them they may not be able to communicate, right?
Hmm.
Number two is they don't care. No one
No,
cares.
they don't.
There
Well,
was
you
a.
get to the point where you're so exhausted from having to work with so many people.
It's like
You're,
it's,
you know,
but it's not just that. It's just that not even is just like, oh, we're working with so many people. It's like they didn't even see them as people. Like
no.
the big, the big thing was that these people were at some point they called them the refuse of society, and they were just a place where you'd go and you dump them. Same thing with the elderly. Like, oh, I'm sorry, you can't take care of grandmother anymore. Go dump them, and they would just
Yeah.
dump her. And it's now, what's damn? Imagine how shitty that is. Number one, being mentally ill, in that
Hmm.
region. But it's so a lot of the stuff is it's almost, and I don't even know if it's gonna sound shitty, but it's almost like it dulls the blow because you're not fully there, so you know what's going on. Now imagine if you're fully sane, you've lived a life where you understand, like what's right, what's wrong, what's comfort, what's
Hmm.
in comfort, and then all of a sudden somebody just throws you into this place, and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
and you're just old. You're an elderly person, and then doctor's gonna leave for the weekend, and then he's like, "All right, time to strap you down like you're a piece of
Hmm.
furniture," and they do, and then you're
Yep.
like, "What the?" If you weren't crazy before, you were crazy after. Because imagine, you know, also the suicide rate in those places.
Oh my God, yeah.
How could you not, like, this is your life and you can't leave, you
No,
know?
they literally could not leave.
So electroshock therapy, they had um the
Wet
pain
sheets.
injections. The what?
The wet sheets?
I was gonna say the cold
That one's
therapy.
pretty evil.
Uh Cold therapy was somebody's acting unruly, throw water on them and take them outside. Just chain them. Chain them outside.
Yeah. Um, what's another one? Hydrotherapy. That one was a weird one.
Yeah, well, waterboarding. They would waterboard people
Hmm.
to kind of see.
Well, and even just the way that they bait these people in general was so inhumane. They literally would take them into a room with a drain in the middle of the floor. And I've seen these rooms. They're disgusting. But it's literally like you're in a prison. They have the water above them, they hose them down, they throw powdered soap on them,
Yeah,
and they're in literal raincoats and shit. And they will take scrubbers and scrub you down and
yeah.
then hose you down again, and you're
You
done.
know, you know where they would buy their equipment to do all those kind of things.
Oh God, where?
They would go down to like processing plants where they had cattle. Like cattle before they're
Oh
getting,
God.
yeah, before they're getting slaughtered. So they would take all this cattle equipment. And some people said, like, because they had people, finally these places started to get fined and shut down,
Hmm.
um, because of the large amount of inhumane treatment. A lot of them said they witnessed them bring in these equipment that wasn't cleaned, wasn't, and then they would just use that, and they're like, didn't that just come off of a beef plant?
Hmm.
So, and instead of it being like, all right, you know what, guys, we have to change our ways, we have to do all these things, it's like, you got to be more careful now when we do things, you know. So it became more secretive, and now they weren't like as blatant openly about it, but everything still continued.
Well, that's when they may started making the guest room. So there was one day a week that they were allowed visitors, okay? And this was every Sunday. So the patients that actually got visitors, which was very, very few, a lot of these people were dropped off and their families never saw them again. Um, they would have special clothes set out for them to wear that were clean. They would make sure that they were the ones that were showered that day, and they would go to these special guest rooms that were pretty much a mock-up. Like it was just all set up. It was super clean and pristine, and that was how visitors were able to see Pennhurst. They never actually saw the inside until, oh, it was a reporter that went in there that videoed the whole thing. I can't remember his name right now, though. I just watched that shit today. Ugh.
Yeah, so you had all this kind of stuff, okay? So you imagine, like, I don't understand also being a doctor in this kind of place. Like, you got to be sick,
Oh yeah.
to because it's not like you don't know right from wrong. Like, you understand, you know?
I almost want to say someone who's narcissistic, in all honesty.
Like, okay, it's an interesting term to you, like, but like, uh, so it's just, I don't know, man. Like, it's just so shitty, and it's just like, now, okay, now these people slowly begin to die, right?
Bill Baldini. That was his
Baldini?
name. Yeah,
He's
Baldini is his name.
he sounds like a guy that would start like a gang, and everybody has to be bald, you know? And he's like,
You would
"Eh,"
be able to join.
he'd be like,
Congratulations.
"We're part of the Baldini brothers," you know? And when I watch
He would
somebody
probably make you vice president.
of the Baldini brothers,
Yeah.
if I were to ever see a guy with his head shaved, I walk up to him and I'll be like, "What do you think you're doing?" And they'd be like,
So
"Well,
do you say that in the mirror every day?
this is the what you hold on, let me finish this bit. Go put some hair on, motherfucker.
Oh my God.
You better go put some hair on. Put a wig on." And I hand him a wig. Here's a wig. Got
I
it
have
from a
some
black
colored
chick.
extensions if you want to borrow them.
The what?
I have colored extensions if you want to borrow them. We could glue them to your head.
Or I could just not shave my head. Anyway,
What would you look like with hair? Weird.
what would I look like with hair?
Yeah.
I would look like a guy with hair.
I just can't imagine you with hair.
There's a video on one of my old YouTube. I'm gonna see if I still have it. Where I'm like, I'm gonna grow my hair out, and I have like a buzz cut, like as it's coming in, and the whole time I'm like talking in the interview, and I keep like scratching my head because it's just something about like having hair, like it feels itchy. You know what I mean? Like it's coming in, it just feels gross, and then
No, it doesn't.
after the episode, I went and got in the shower and shaved my head, and I was like, oh, I feel so much better. Anyway, so back to the topic. Okay, so these people start dying from suicide, from infections, from malnutrition, from therapies that have gone
Tuberculosis.
wrong. Um, One of the patients, it was reported that it was an elderly person, and they started to do the electroshock therapy, and this person had a heart attack. You know,
Well, yeah.
and this was just there was nothing mentally wrong with this person, just an elderly person. You know,
That's horrible.
so I know a couple of elderly
Isn't
people
that
that
the
probably need
one
shock
that
therapy.
I think that's the one that they lied about the cause of death
It's
on
like,
her report to the family.
oh, we just found her this way, and it's like, what?
Oh God. Well, that happened a lot though. They would kill some of the patients and they would lie about their cause of death, or like with their treatment they would put just the same words across the board across everybody's treatment.
Yeah, it's so also with lobotomies. When I started first lobotomizing people, they didn't like know exactly what the spot was, so a lot of
Mhm.
times they would miss and kill the person. They're like, whoops. Or
Yeah.
they so gross. So the tools that they used, sometimes they didn't bother washing them, and it's like, for what? And they would use it, and then the
Mhm.
people would die of infections.
Yep,
You know,
that was so common.
and they had so before they would do the, like there was a certain spot in the head where they can like drill, and that was much later. In the beginning, they're like, you know what? Why drill through the skull when you could go through the eye? So they would like shove the tool in your eye, go behind it, like actually move
Oh,
the needle
bro,
until the eyeball was out of the way, and they would go straight up. And like I said, sometimes they would miss. And then
that's so gnarly.
there was a story of, it wasn't in Pennhurst, it was in Waverly Hills. I don't know where it was, but there was a story where they had this person, no anesthesia, right? And the way
Of
this
course
person
not.
described it was they were doing a lobotomy on this person that was very uppity, an individual person, a guy who, you know, just didn't like cooperating. Like, leave me alone, get off of me. So he said that
Mhm.
they stuck the needle behind his eye. It was actually a spike. They put the spike, they give it a quick tap, and then he says all of a sudden he just slumped, and it's like,
Yep.
whoops,
Hit the wrong part of the brain. My bad.
we killed him.
Yep.
And
Whoops. Don't do that on the next person.
then you know what they did with his body?
Didn't they just like throw it in one of the tunnels or something?
They threw it down the garbage chute. And so, but places like Pennhurst, so the people that die, then they begin to wander as the dead. And there's a lot of creepy shit that people have seen.
Pennhurst is scary.
So here's
I just, oh,
imagine a place that is just so full of not just sadness and anger, but also fear. Like the
mhm.
fear of what's going on. Like what happens to that energy when you're gone,
Ugh. It gives me the chills because, like, I've talked to people that have been in these institutions, and when you talk to them and you see that fear in their eyes when they're telling you their story, it is gut-wrenching. And you can, oh man, I can't imagine that energy lingering in one area
It
and then multiply it by
I was gonna
100.
say, like, it just becomes like then a vortex of just like negativity.
Hmm.
Um, so in one of these places, in one of these rooms, there's somebody had an interesting theory. I wonder if it was Sean Burris. I'm gonna have to ask him if, like, when you have enough Sean Burris, who somebody say me. So if you get enough people,
Then he just pops up out of nowhere.
pops up, hey, he like pops up like from like, hey, man, what are you doing? That's how rumors start. Get out of here. Um,
Sean really lives in Deacon's basement.
Yeah, he's like, he keeps me fed with pizza crusts and booze.
He
Um,
lets me out once a
once a month to go and investigate the Shadow Nation.
month.
So, I like I said, I don't know if it was him
I'm
that came up with this
sorry.
theory or if I heard it from somewhere else, but how when you take like negative energy of it could be fear, anger, all these things, and it just lingers, and then there's more because there's more victims. They kind of like come together and they form into like a shadow person, and that's like how you get those
Oh,
creepy like shadow people. It's just like a combination of just negativity,
that makes sense though.
and that's why like in these type of areas, there's a lot of sightings of shadow people. Um, this place has the famous shadow creeper who like walks up the walls and then up on the
Oh,
ceiling.
gross.
The shadow
Stop.
creeper, he just watches you as you shower. He's like,
Ugh.
oh, what's going on now? You know,
Yuck.
so he like crawls up the walls, walks on the ceilings, and
Ew.
also what's creepy is that a lot of people that have visited this location and then they go home, they say they're sitting there in their car like having a conversation, and they could see someone sitting in the back seat, like this creeper thing just followed them home.
I want to go there around Halloween time when they're doing their haunted house.
I want to go there around Cinco de Mayo, you know
Why Cinco de Mayo?
because it's probably a fun festivity. There's probably nachos and tequila and that one Mexican
Uh,
drunk uncle that everybody knows.
we're talking about Pennhurst, not Mexico.
Well, I mean, who who is to say they don't celebrate it there?
I mean, if if there were Mexicans locked up in there, I'm sure they did. I mean, I'm down for celebrating Cinco de Mayo. I like margaritas.
Do you like margarita? I don't.
Yeah.
I had a bad experience once with tequila, and ever since then, I even smelling agave like makes my stomach turn like ugh.
But See, and I can't drink straight tequila. Okay, I lied. I can really take a shot of anything if I put my mind to it. But I prefer not to drink tequila. But a
Yours is
margarita, I'll
antifreeze.
take a margarita.
Take a shot
Yeah, I'll take a shot of anything.
right after this lobotomy. Um,
Yes.
it's supposed to relax you, lobotomies, and it's supposed to just make you. You know who got a lobotomy?
Ew.
JFK's youngest sister.
No way, really?
Yeah, so she was a wild child, as their father said. She was a wild child. She, was always dancing, was always doing things. So then he took her to one of these places, and they gave her a lobotomy. And then she was just like confined to a wheelchair for the rest of her life.
Oh
And
no,
she would
that would
just,
suck.
yeah, and she would just stare and drool. And her dad, Kennedy Senior, he was like, well, now she's well behaved, and he didn't see anything wrong with that.
That's horrible.
And the fact that they took her there and they're like, what do you need? One lobotomy, please. Coming right up.
Well, if you misbehave, we're just gonna give you a lobotomy.
Good luck. I can grow back brain matter.
What? Are you a mutant teenage mutant ninja turtle or something?
We don't
What
know if
the
they
hell?
have regenerative healing powers
How how do you have regenerative healing powers? That was kind of a hard word to say.
because I'm decon.
Okay.
Also, did you guys know that if you kill me, you become me?
Oh God. That's a reason not to.
So anyway,
Jesus
so so
Christ.
so have you heard some of the stories that people have when they go to that place, like when they do investigations?
Some of the ones that I've heard, let's see. Oh, there's the tunnel one.
What's in the
So
tunnel?
there was an investigation team. I can't remember their names. I watched them last night,
Was it
but they
me?
went, no, they
Oh,
were Asian guys, and you're not Asian at all
how do you know?
because you've told me that does not make you Asian.
We're going to Pennhurst.
No, okay, so they did their little spiel on the history of Pennhurst, and then they did lights out because they were in the basement where some of the tunnels were. Because
As an Asian
underneath it,
team?
yes. Oh my God. Anyways,
What kind of Asian?
I don't know. I don't like message them and ask.
Were they Chinese?
No, I don't think so.
Did they see like the shadow person that was like coming up and they're like, fuck you, big boy?
No,
Um,
not at all. No. So, anyways, underneath Pennhurst, I think there was 15 different buildings, something to that effect.
underneath it?
No, there were 15 buildings to Pennhurst, and
Oh,
underneath it, there were tunnels connecting every single building.
oh
All of
shit.
these buildings were connected. So this team went into the tunnels and they had um, the laser equipment where you can shine it down into the
Yeah.
dark and then the lasers are everywhere. Anyways, so they had that laser equipment going and they were talking to the camera, and in the background, you just see back and forth, getting closer to them, and they didn't realize it. And as soon as it's like right on top of them, it was gone.
Oh shit.
It was the craziest shit. I'll have to see if I can find it again and send it to you.
Um, did they capture that? And I'm gonna look it up. Like, is there any EVPs in that area?
I'm I'm sure there's so many EVPs in that place.
It's such a dark place. Like, even if you don't believe like in the paranormal, Imagine going to a place where so many people suffered. Like, it's gotta,
Yeah, there's just, well, and see, that's the thing is them wanting to sell this place and what they're making it into does not make sense for what Pennhurst is.
what are they gonna turn it into? Like a
They
whorehouse?
wanted that would make more sense than what they're doing. They want to make it into a data center.
Sorry, I'm trying to
Hey,
think of like when you do call the new Pennhurst, and it's like toot, 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 it's like,
well,
hello, hey,
think about
you're calling Pennhurst, you tap them, we slap them.
it. No, here's how I feel about that though. Okay. We talked about it with the Conjuring episode. You cannot get rid of that energy. You cannot destroy energy. All that energy from Pennhurst is still going to be there. That amount of energy, that's going to interrupt whatever data center that they build, whatever Wi-Fi that they have, whatever sort of internet that they have for this data center,
They're gonna
all of
turn it
that
into a
energy is
data
going to
center.
fuck with that. Yeah.
That's
Is that
so
not the
weird.
weirdest thing?
You know what would be weird? You know what's creepy to think about? The having all that negative energy, and then you're bringing all types of electronics, all type of people, just feeding this thing energy every day.
Exactly. And that is what is going to happen. And it's like these owners should know that by now. I think they've owned it for quite a while.
I don't think they care. They're kind of like, I don't care what happens.
They should care.
Well, they should, but they don't. They're like, I just
But
want my paycheck.
well, as far as I know, there's like this huge petition out there that they have going. I can't remember how many signatures it has on it already, but it has quite a few, and they're trying to quote unquote save Pennhurst.
Save it from what?
They're trying to save it from being sold as a data center. But here's the other side of the fence, though. If they don't sell it, what the hell are they going to do with it? It's just going to keep deteriorating until it's down to nothing. And so, what are you going to do then?
I would, if this was me, if I had the money, I would probably turn it like into a museum of like ancient, like not ancient, imagine, but like like old timey medicine, so you can go and
That's what the Oregon one did. Oregon State Mental Hospital, instead of just completely closing it, they renovated it into a museum.
but what if when you renovate it and then you have some of the souls that are trapped in there, they think that it's fully operational and it's back to what it was, and they start acting
Hmm.
violent, like, oh shit,
Hell
again,
yeah. There's like, no.
not again. you
That
know
would be, oh, that would be kind of messed up, though, in all
it's
honesty.
yeah, and
Ugh.
damn, it's one of those things where it's just so shitty because you think about it, and then I don't like to think too much about it because you just think like, imagine the large amount of fear going on with these people that didn't have like the mental capacity to understand what was happening. All they
Hmm.
know is that people come in and hurt them and then mistreat them, and they don't understand like what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and some of them, that's all they knew because they were born there.
Oh yeah, some people were born there.
They were
That's
born there, and if you were born at Pennhurst, you were either A, you lived there and you became a resident, B, adopted out, or C, as terrible as this sounds, you were disposed of.
um that's also interesting. Like, if you were adopted out, imagine the type of person, because you were you were created from, if it was like inmate, yeah, patient to patient is what we should call them, patient to patient type of thing. Imagine the type of mental illness that this person inherited due to their genetics.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Well, in some cases, they didn't inherit anything and they came out just fine.
And they were fine,
And they
but
were
then
still forced to live there.
and then they were forced to live. It did become a prison. They had bars in the windows, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you couldn't leave. You
Nope.
know, I'm surprised there wasn't like a riot. Well, that I know of. It was
No,
like
there were plenty. Do not.
I had a long day.
Seriously?
Um,
We both have had a long week, I think.
yeah, I know it sucks.
Anyways.
So no, it's just yeah. So you're forced to live there. You were born there. You were raised. This place, fuck. When did it close? Was it like 1960s, 1970s?
1968.
And it was fully operational, right? Until that time.
And it took 10 years for it to fully close and get every single person out and
Oh,
back into the community. But, and see, that's the thing. You can't just shut these places down. People live there. So you
yeah.
have to make sure they have a place to go.
And
You have to make sure they have supports.
a lot of the places
And
didn't. A lot of places they shut down. They're like, all right, get out, have a nice life. And
yeah,
imagine,
well, and I think Pennhurst, from what I've read, they actually did try to get these people into like another home with another family or into some sort of situation where they have some sort of supports. But I mean, you have thousands of people. A lot of those people are going to fall through the cracks on that too.
you know what's dark is when they one of these asylums closes down and then they just like sell them off to
Hmm.
another asylum, to like another institute. How many people arrive? Oh, it's dark. Like I use Waverly Hills because it's one of the more famous ones, but just
Hmm.
getting buses filled. By the way, this area, Matt, imagine being a person that's there because you have, I don't know, you have epilepsy and you're there. All of a sudden, you start getting buses filled with people, and you're like, who are these people? Oh, they just closed down an asylum, so now we're getting more people. And by the way,
Hmm.
some of them could be sick because at this
Hmm.
time they were having, TB. It was a huge outbreak, the white
Yeah,
plague, and then
that
everybody
yeah,
gets
that
it.
was huge.
That
Ugh.
that's another episode, Waverly Hills.
Yeah, that would be a good episode to do. Oh
But
man.
but I think Pennhurst, it didn't have. It's been open for a really long time, from 1908 to 1968. That's a long fucking time. But
Well, a lot of those institutions were, and that's the sad thing is that people don't realize how recent it is that some of these places were shut down. Like the one in Oregon that I tried to go to, but there was really big security and I didn't feel like getting arrested that day, so I didn't go. But the one in Oregon called Fairview, that's near, shut up, the Oregon State Mental Hospital. That one, I don't think it closed down till the 90s. And they did just as bad of shit as Pennhurst did.
when we're talking about the process of them shutting down and how not everybody got to leave on time, damn it, there
I'm
was
gonna
case.
slap you across the face
What is it with you and violence?
because you're yawning, and that's gonna make me yawn because it's contagious. Stop
What
it.
if you had that disorder? When they go and that makes the people go like
Oh,
stop.
don't do that. God damn it, don't do that.
You know what I'm talking
Ew.
about? There's all these
Yes,
videos where the guy's like, hey,
gross.
and she looks over
Ugh.
and they're like, ugh.
Stop.
Anyway, so yeah, so with these places, um, when they do the like, all right, guys, we're officially shut down. So then they shut down, and they still have patients in there, and they're like, well, it's
Mhm.
still the same thing. The only difference is that now we have no electricity because we're not even supposed to be running, you know. Also, they shut the water off, because the place is shut
Mm.
down, but not really shut down, and then, like you said, some of these places took 10 years for them to fully shut down. Imagine being, 10 years in a place with no power
Imagine
and water.
being the last person released.
Jeez.
Like,
That's,
imagine how shitty you would feel
well,
being
yeah,
the
because
last one to leave.
yeah, man. And then
God,
you
that
gotta
would
think
suck.
that, like, you're this place is now abandoned. Supposedly on paper it's abandoned, so that means there's no rules, right? So then what kind of horrific shit that these sadistic doctors do to people?
Mm, yeah, I can't even imagine. And no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's fucking dark. So anyway, I hope they don't sell it to a person that turns it into a data center. I hope they don't turn it into a museum. Not you know what I mean, not a museum, but like a place where people are like, you can go here and spend the night. You know what I mean?
I think they should keep it as it is right now. Keep doing their haunted thing that they do around Halloween time because they only do a small part of the building that they have renovated to do that for. And if shit deteriorates, get rid of it as it falls and just let it be. Just
I
let
would
it peacefully fall.
I said I hope they don't turn it into a museum. I hope they don't turn it into a bed and breakfast. Because you know how some
I'll buy
places,
it.
huh?
I'll buy it and turn it into a bed and breakfast.
Yeah, don't do that.
Why not?
Because imagine the type of idiots that go to a bed and breakfast at like a place where horrific shit happened. These are the
I'll
kind
make
of
it
people.
really expensive.
So only Zach Baggins goes like, "Hey, Aaron,
No,
I'm being affected right now. Feels like somebody shoving a rod in me." Um,
I'll look at him and be like, only Aaron can come.
Only Aaron?
Yep, nobody
Why
else.
Aaron?
Because I feel bad for him.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to clean up a
He was
mess.
almost murdered.
He was what?
He was almost murdered.
You ever had the conspiracy that that whole thing wasn't true and that they just wanted attention?
Well, that wouldn't surprise me either, but I still kind of feel bad for him. Okay,
I
so
don't. He
only
knows
he
what
can
he's getting
come.
himself. Have you seen that girl? She looks like a like just like a bimbo.
She looks like a blonde version of Casey Anthony to me.
I don't know who that is.
Shut
I
up.
may know.
I may know. You're
Maybe
such
she just
a.
looks like a bitch. Like
She does.
if I would have met Aaron, before, like, oh, I met this girl, and then all this kind of stuff, I'd have looked at her and been like, dude, she was like a bitch. Don't
You
marry
should
that.
probably dump her.
Yeah, you should probably dump, punch her in the face. Pawn her,
You say I'm violent. God,
pawn her off. I'm only violent against women.
on her up.
Um,
Take her to the institution.
drop her off at the mental institute, the abandoned one. It's gonna officially close. All right, guys, this was a great episode. Um, be sure to check out our merch at T Public. Go get yourself a night. Damn, I should do
Have I
a
shown
in a
my sweater on here
what?
yet? My sweater. Have I showed that on here yet?
I don't think so.
Oh, fuck. Keep talking.
What
Hold on.
the hell? Anyway, I'm thinking that maybe I'll do something like maybe like an asylum merch item, maybe,
Do it. I'm
and
trying to find mine.
somebody in a straight jacket.
Oh, okay. I think I wore it recently and it's.
A girl with black hair in a
Sorry.
straight jacket.
What?
Huh?
I, I still can hear every word you say.
Anyway, so what happened? Did you not
Anyway,
find it?
I think it's outside in my car, and I really don't want to walk out to my garage
Yeah, I
to
don't
get
do
it.
that. So we'll just close out the show.
Yeah,
So
I'm too lazy. You guys can see it next week.
this was a great episode. This is like the laid back episode because it's just like you guys can just sit here and just watch us converse about sick shit like mental institutions and hauntings, and then hopefully you ever heard that theory out there that if you hear about like horrific shit, like all that kind of stuff, and you start thinking about it and you let it emotionally affect you, whatever is negative around there is drawn by that energy, and you can actually have somebody start getting haunted.
Huh?
Th-
What?
So let's say that
Okay.
we're talking about Pennhurst, right? We're like, yeah, these fucking entities and they're da 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 da. And then you start thinking like dark entities. That's so creepy. And then you're laying there in bed at night and you're like, I can't like this fucking dark energy. I wonder what they're and you're thinking so much about it that it starts forming like a negative emotion. So if there's like dark energy either walking by or passing by, they sense it and then they're like, I think I'm gonna go over here. And then these kind of shows like kind of welcome hauntings and they start them.
Cool. So we're just gonna haunt our audience.
So guys, remember to always look both ways, especially if we're causing hauntings in your house.
Oh, did you plug in the Discord? I think you did.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, so no, I haven't done that. So we have a Discord
Okay.
server. Check it out. Also our Facebook page. We're at 6,000, I believe.
I can't remember.
But so check that out. Check out the Discord server. Come hang out, just talk shit.
We're at 6.6 thousand. Let's make it 6.66.
Oh geez, let's not do that. Um so you guys come hang on the
Cool.
Discord server, come hang out. You guys can find Ash the Oracle on there just talking shit.
What's new?
So guys go and
You
just
talk shit on there too.
everyone very little every once in a while.
Whatever. I have
So
an
yeah,
idea.
what's the idea?
Well, I'm gonna tell you after the show and then we'll plug it in next week.
Okay, whatever.
I have an
Anyways,
idea.
guys, you guys have a good night.
Bye guys.